Fitin10 Nation, it is day 47. Officially now into the final third of the challenge. And if you think that having little mess ups here and there, or not being entirely accurate here or there, will not make a difference, I want to remind you that it will. And this is a very, very slippery slope, because what your mind will tell you is that you just did a little thing here, a little there, a little thing here, a little thing there, and that's it. And it really wasn't a big deal. It's not going to make any difference, and that's that. But if you actually took note of everything you did, day in, day out, that was different, you'll see that, and especially if you took note exactly how much difference it was, you'll see that it can make a huge difference. Okay. The other problem with this is it's a slippery slope. So when you think that, you know, I don't want to say cutting corners, because it might be a bit insulting to you, but when you think that not being perfect is okay, it will lead you to do less perfect and less perfect. And before you know it, you might be way off the rails. Even if you're convinced that you are doing 95%. My experience has been with people that tell me they're doing 95% or 90%. It turns out they're doing like 60%. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. So be aware, don't give yourself any room or any excuse to not do things as perfectly as possible, okay? Everything counts. Everything counts. All right, let's go into more questions here. All right, let's see here. This person says, okay, this is for improving, this is naming something you can improve for the following week. Get my macros in. Okay, not specific enough. I mean, unless literally tomorrow you are going to get your macros perfect and every day there afterwards. Okay, but to me, it's not, you know, like you should say specifically what you're going to do. Like I'm going to get 100 and whatever, 50 grams of protein every single day. Be specific. Push myself harder during weight training sessions. Okay, well, again, this is, you know, how do you define harder? So that's good and all, but maybe you want to say something like, you know, I don't know, I squatted 65 last day for 10, but I know I could easily do, I mean not easily, but I know I could do 75 pounds for 10. Okay, something like that. So something where you can own up to whatever you are wanting to change, okay? Be specific. All right, name something specific you need help with. I'm doing the occasional ski tour, which is about 7 to 8 hours of zone 2 aerobic exercise. The macros assigned to me are not enough to cover the amount of physical exercise. Any suggestions, guidance on how to adjust them? Yeah, so that's a lot. I mean, doing 7 to 8 hours of aerobic activity is, you know, you're probably going to end up burning, you know, and this is just an estimation. You're probably going to end up burning like 1,500 calories, okay? So that's like a huge thing. Now, if you're just doing it here or there, like what's here or there? If you're doing it like once every 3 weeks, I probably wouldn't worry about trying to make up for it. If you're doing it more routinely than that, like if you're doing it like weekly or something, then I would probably allow yourself some extra amount of carbohydrates, okay? I say carbohydrates because that's going to be the quickest fuel, and you need quick fuel when you're burning through, or if you're trying to fuel for an activity such as this, okay? So, you know, what would I suggest? Let's be conservative and say you're burning 1,000 calories. What's 1,000 calories of carbohydrates? About 250 grams of carbohydrates. Okay, so if it were me, what would I do? It depends. I mean, I would see how my performance is in the gym, how I feel, etc., and if I felt like I needed to have some extra calories, then I would just throw it in. okay? I mean, you know, this is a big activity if it's legitimately 7 to 8 hours, which makes sense, I guess, if you're out for a full day of ski touring. Yeah, you know, I just give myself some extra carbohydrates, okay? Roughly the amount that I'm missing, but be conservative with it, okay? We don't want to overestimate that, okay? And what would I have? You know, I'd have a mixture of simple and complex carbohydrates. You know, what would be what's an example? Oatmeal with honey. All right, oatmeal is going to be a complex carbohydrate. Honey is obviously a simple carbohydrate. Okay, that would be an example. Is there anything you would like me to cover in this week's video series? Nope. Okay, after the workout this past Friday, I felt incredibly worked, like I never have before. It made me realize that I probably haven't been pushing myself hard enough. Okay, so yeah, I mean, listen, you're gonna become more proficient with your training, and you're gonna know how to dig deeper as you go along with your training. For those of you who came into this and didn't have any weight training background, just doing something like going from not squatting to doing squats with body weight is gonna be something, because you're not used to that. So it's all relative. In the beginning, you don't have to really push yourself like crazy, because right in the beginning your body's going to adjust, but certainly over time your body's going to adjust, and then you need to meet that demand. And you know, I mentioned this, I think, in a couple videos ago. I did mention this in 1 or 2 of my classes, that you know, it is important for you to push yourself in your workout too, because you will burn through more energy, right? And that's part of your, you know, that's part of the science, if you want to call that, in this whole thing, right? We want to, if the workouts are, you know, easy, and I know they're probably not easy for anybody, but if they're easier, then you know, you're not going to burn as many calories. All right, so that's going to make a difference. So the harder you push, okay, so I'll give you a specific example so you understand what I'm saying. I gave this in class. If you are doing, you know, if I say to you, okay, you're going to do a weight for 10 reps, and obviously we're working towards a 10 rep max. That's what, on these exercises, we're always working towards trying to get near muscular failure or muscular failure within the rep range that I give you. Okay, so obviously there has to be a certain load for that, right? So if you can do, you know, the bar for 10, let's say on squats, the empty bar, that's 45 pounds, and then you add, say, 2 10s, so that you're 65, and you can do that for 10, but you still have room, like you can do 15 or 20, then you're gonna keep adding some weight as you move up to reach that 10 rep max, right? And you know, part of this, and there's several reasons we do that, but one of the reasons is, as I just mentioned, you're gonna chew through more energy. So doing 10 reps, if you can max out with, say, I don't know, 85 pounds on the squat for 10 reps, and you just stick to doing, say, 65 pounds, you're not gonna use as much energy as though, or in comparison to if you did the 85 pounds, right? One just doesn't require as much emphasis. One doesn't require as much effort. Okay, not as much energy, not as much force production, okay? So push yourself. Yes, push yourself, push yourself. Push yourself harder than last time. Oh, okay, this is a lot here. I'm at 9 minutes here. Oh, I guess I should get the best of the day. Okay. Best of the day. Best of the day is this. Sometimes you just have to get going to get going. Okay, sometimes you have to, you just have to get going to get going. So what do I mean by this? It means that, you know, I think a lot of us are looking for constant motivation. And I've mentioned this before, motivation, doesn't matter who you are, you'll never be motivated all the time. It just won't happen. You never will be. Nobody is. So you have to set yourself some rules and abide by those rules, right? Like, you know, or, you know, don't allow yourself the choice to decide whether you're gonna do it or not, right? So, you know, work, when you go to work, this is a perfect example. You just go to work, you just get up, you just go to work. You don't say, actually, I'm not gonna go to work. I'm not gonna go to work today. You know, just because I don't feel like it, okay? Well, maybe you do, but, you know, generally you're not doing that, okay? You have to set the rule, which I'm assuming you have, right? You've got to abide by the rule of, in this case with a challenge, 3 workouts, weight training workouts, and just do them. Just do them. Do not make them, this goes for your cardio as well, this goes for your food planning, getting all your macros in. Don't make it a choice. Okay, just go and do it. And sometimes when you do it, then I shouldn't say sometimes, if you do it, you will see the results. And when you see the results, that in and of itself should motivate you, or it should, motivation isn't really the word I want to look for, but it should give you some positive reinforcement to, hey, I'm going to stick to the schedule. Okay? That is more powerful than motivation, because motivation is temporary, right? You want some enforcement that if I stick to this, I'm going to continue to see results. Okay, positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. We'll talk to you guys all very soon. Have a wonderful day.